In my first Diamond playthrough, all the way back in 2007, I chose Chimchar, and that turned out to be a very big decision because to this day, over 17 years later, Infernape is still my favorite Pokemon. And while Infernape has always been number one, the rest of my favorites have changed pretty dramatically over the years, but there was never really a Pokemon I would consider a true second in command that I liked nearly as much as Infernape. That is, until 2019. Back in 2019, when all the National Dex drama was happening and people were talking about which forgettable Pokemon would be cut from the Dex, one Pokemon that rose to the occasion and became a prime candidate for memes was Maractus. Before Sword and Shield, Maractus was actually a pretty rare Pokemon. In Gen 5, its debut generation, it only appears in one area and it's only a 10% encounter rate. In Gen 6, it's relegated to either the Friend Safari or Mirage areas, and it's a transfer exclusive in Gen 7. It never really had any big moments outside of the games either, so a lot of people, myself included, had never really interacted with it that much. Now, I don't want to sound like a hipster or a contrarian, but when I see a lot of people making fun of a Pokemon, I kind of almost feel a little bad for it and say, I actually kind of like that one. And Maractus was an extreme example of this. When I started to see Maractus more, I started to think, hey, maybe this dancing maraca cactus Pokemon is actually pretty cool. Against all odds, Maractus made it into Sword and Shield, and it was also a successful business owner. And from there, I really started to like it. So much so that in late 2020, when I was really starting to get into shiny hunting, Maractus was my first big target. As a matter of fact, that hunt was the very first time I ever uploaded a shiny hunting video. And while my Maractus and Sword is still one of my absolute favorite shinies I've ever found, I had always thought that it would be really cool to have one in 5th gen as well. Not only so I could see it in sprite form, but because I really like finding shinies in their debut generation. But back in 2020, this kind of felt like a pipe dream because I was still only doing method hunts and using the shiny charm back then. So I was way too scared of hunting in 8192 games, and I just said, maybe one day. But after converting to full odds hunting over those next few years, in March of 2023, I finally decided to start my hunt for Maractus in black and white. Now, the only place you can find Maractus in 5th gen is the Desert Resort. It's a 10% encounter in both black and white and black 2 white 2, so while you can hunt it in either one, I chose to hunt in black and white rather than the sequels, thanks to a time-saving glitch that's only present in the OG games. And that glitch is a way to get rid of the sandstorm animation that plays at the start of every encounter. While it doesn't seem like much, this will really add up over thousands of encounters, and this glitch is easy to set up, so it's definitely worth it if you plan to hunt here. All you need to do is save in the Desert Resort, set your DS's clock ahead 1 month, load your game back up, and after the first encounter, the sandstorm will be gone as long as you don't leave the area. This will save both your time and the Maractus population, because despite only living in the desert, neither of its abilities or its typing protect it from sandstorm damage. So since you can't ride your bike in here, you have to settle for running, but I was double hunting and having a lot of trouble holding B and moving at the same time on 2 games at once. So I ended up finding a pretty high-tech solution for this, called tape. This would mostly do the job, but every now and then the tape would unstick and I'd have to reapply it. And while there is a level 20 repel trick you can do to turn Maractus from a 10% encounter to a 16% encounter, which isn't a big boost, but 16 better than 10, I chose not to use it because I'm lazy, and I also just wanted the experience of phasing for a 10%. With all that out of the way, here are all the phases of my 5th gen Maractus hunt. Oh my god, Shiny Maractus! No way! First phase! There's actually no way! There's no way! My heart is beating. Oh my gosh. Let me get a stylus out of the other game. The other DS. Pokeball, what do we go for here? My hands are shaking. Oh my god. I don't even know, dude. Like, this is the most excited I've ever been finding a shiny. And it stayed on the third and last luxury ball. Oh my god. It's backwards there. No nickname for right now. I just want to save. Get the tape off this B button. I'm sorry, B button, that you had to go through this. Save the game. Lock this in. Let's go! Let's go! Oh my god. Alright, I've just been sitting here in the desert resort, baffled, for like 10 minutes. I haven't even gone to look at the Maractus yet. Let's go check it out. Alright, let's see the nature. Naughty nature. Loves to eat. Loves to eat. Look at that. Back sprite. Look at that hop. Hop. This is my childhood file too. Alright, so I've been doing a ton of EV training with Maractus, but I just realized I never sent it out into battle for the video. There's a normal Sandile, and the shiny Maractus. Just look at that. Oh, look at that lean. Wonderful. So yeah, I really did not expect to get Maractus first phase here. I was thinking, you know, maybe 1 or 2 phases, and a really small part of me almost wanted to phase a lot and have a whole saga to show here, but I will gladly take a first phase as well. And something that I didn't even notice until I was watching back the footage was that right before I found Maractus, I started walking on that game. So that means that in between encounters, the tape stopped holding the B button, and I could be wrong about this, but if I had been running on that game, I could have gotten into the encounter on a different RNG frame and missed the shiny. So as far as I know, I owe my shiny Maractus to this piece of tape. Like I said earlier, I did start this hunt back in March of 2023, but I only did about 1,000 encounters before I put it on the back burner. But after I made my 2024 bingo card, I decided to pick it back up again, and I'm so glad I did. As for why it took me over 5 months to get this video out, I just kind of decided to take a little break from making videos. And I have been shiny hunting this whole time, but most of the hunts I've been working on are pretty slow, so I haven't actually found as many shinies to make videos on. But Safari Week is really soon, and I'm hoping to change that. Might even end up streaming some of it, who knows. But for now, I will leave you to enjoy the absolute spectacle that is a dancing Maraca cactus Pokemon dancing with a Maraca.